Our scorekeepers are where they need to be. Thank you so much. And our first competitor is on the camp. This is competitor number 201, Zane Haberman. Zane is riding Crystal on behalf of Lindy Thompson. Makes the trip down each year from up there at Moseley Hills, Springshaw. If you've got a bit of time later on in the year, about September, go up there and visit Zane and Kerry. They run a great draft up there at Moseley Hills. Crystal is a 9-year-old mare by Warren Bry Benson, and there's a novice mare, and as I mentioned, she is being campaigned on behalf of Zane's sister-in-law. This is Zane Haberman and Crystal, competitor number 201. At the gate, checking out the cattle is Billy Carey, 202 on Gidget. 203, Karen Gardner, standby on Cahoot's Perfect Style. 204 will be you, Huey Miles, More Spoonful. 205, Chris Sherwood, Karma. 206, Amy Jamison, CD. 207, Brett Staines, Conrad. 208, Luke Hardwick, Sweetie. 209, Andrew Turvey, Knipes, Destiny's Playgirl. And 210, we'll see Pete Kizminski back riding Nashville Royal Destiny. On course proper, though, we watch competitor number 201, all the way down from Springshaw in Queensland. This is Zane Haberman riding Lindy Thompson's entry, Crystal.
Our last competitor number 201, Zane Haberman with Crystal, scoring a 21 for cutout, 63 for horsework. Another 4 course points there, Zane. Grand total 88. Put that with an 86.33 out of round number 1. It'll give you a grand total 174.33. 174.33 for Zane Haberman and Crystal. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 202, Bill Carey with Gidget. 203 will be Kieran Gardner with Cahoot's Perfect Style.
On course for Gundawindi competitor Bill Carey riding his great open mare, Gidget. Once again, Bill and the family make the trip. .203 Karen Gardner, Cahoot's Perfect Style, standby 204 Huey Miles, More Spoonful. Thanks, Billy. We'll have a score coming through for Bill Carey and Gidget.
Last competitor number 202, Bill Carey and Gidget, scoring a 16.33 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework. Another 4 course points, be a grand total 82.66. Put that with a 78 out of round 1. That'll give you a 160.67, Bill. 160.67 for Bill Carey's Gidget. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 203, Karen Gardner with Cahoot's Perfect Style. Huey Miles, you're next on the camp, please, at competitor number 204 with More Spoonful.
And Karen Gardner's made the trip across from Cooma in New South Wales, riding Cahoot's Perfect Style, an 11-year-old quarter horse mare by CK Pepico, the resident stallion there of Gardner's, and out of Westbrook, Ginger Meg. That's time. Thank you, judges. We'll have a score coming through for Karen Gardner and Cahoot's Perfect Style. Hugh Miles is a competitor on camp now on More Spoonful, a nomination by Peter and Carolyn Doonan up there at Charters Towers. More Spoonful. is a novice mare we've seen Hugh have great success with.
Last competitor number 203, Kieran Gardner, scoring 16 points for cut at 55.33 for horsework. Another 3 course points, grand total 74.33. Put that with a 21 out of round 1, that'll be grand total of 95.33, 2-round score. You are now watching outside competitor number 204, Mr. Hugh Miles with More Spoonful. In the camp, please, 205, Chris Sherwood with Karma. Amy Jemison, don't be far away. You're next in with CD at competitor number 206. The last competitor, 204, Hugh Miles and More Spoonful, scoring 22 for cutout, 58.33 for horsework. Another 3 course points there, Hugh. Grand total, 83.33. Put it with a 79 out of round 1. That'll be a grand total of 162.33. 162.33 points for competitor number 67, Hugh Miles. Competitor number 204, excuse me. Competitor number 205 now, Chris Sherwood with Karma. 206, Amy Jemison is on the camp with CD. Brett Staines, you are 207 with Conrad. Last competitor, competitor 205, Chris Sherwood with Karma, scoring a 20.67 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework, another 4 course points, grand total 87 points. Put it with an 87.67 out of round 1. That'll be a nice score of 174.67. 174.67 for competitor number 205, Chris Sherwood.
206 on course. We watch Amy Jemison, made the trip down from up there at Tamworth. She is riding her gelding CD. A lovely horse by CD Alina out of Diamantina Links. This particular combination won the ladies there at the Australian Championships for the ABSRA, the 2022 ladies title winner at the finals. We wish them well here. This is Amy Jemison riding her entry CD. Into the camp, 207, Brett Staines Conrad, standby 208, Luke Hardwick. Nice job, Blondie. We'll have a score come through for Amy Jemison and CD.
Last competitor, competitor number 206, Amy Jemison with CD, scoring a 15.67 for cutout, 61 for horsework, further 4 course points. Grand total 80.67. Put that with the 87 in round 1. That'll give you a grand total, Amo, of 167.67. Next in, you're watching now competitor number 207, Brett Staines with Conrad. 208, Luke Hardwick. You be at the gate with Sweetie and Andrew Turvey. Don't be far away with Knipes Destiny's Playgirl. You are competitor number 209.
Brett Staines we watch on his Conman gelding. Conrad, a 7-year-old horse, owned by Brett himself. We'll have a score come through for you, Brett, to couple with your 85 from yesterday. Luke Hardwick's in the camp looking over the cattle now. He rides Sweetie. Standby 209, Andrew Turvey on Knipes Destiny Playgirl. 210 will be Pete Comiskey. 211, Harry Larnick. 212, Sam Southern. 213, Jeff Willis. And 214 will be Mark Palmer.
Last competitor 207, Brett Staines and Conrad, scoring a 22.67 for cutout, 62.67 for horsework. Further 4 course points, grand total 89.34. Put that with an 85 out of round 1. That'll be grand total of 174.33. 174.33 points for Brett Staines, Conrad. You're watching now competitor number 208, Luke Hardwick with Sweetie. 209, Andrew Turvey. You be on the camp with Knipes Destiny Playgirl. Last competitor, 208, Luke Hardwick with Sweetie scoring a 21 for cutout, 62.67 were the horsework. 4 course points, 87.67. At it with an 82 out of round 1, that'll be a 169.67 points for Luke Hardwick's Sweetie. You are now watching Mr. Andrew Turvey at competitor number 209, Knipes Destiny's Playgirl.
Andrew and his family now make their home at Wandoan up there at Juanda Plains, managing the Willinga Park interests in Queensland. Andrew on this occasion does ride Knipes Destiny's Playgirl, a mare owned by Willinga Park. She's a 6-year-old mare by One More Playboy and is indeed a novice mare. A lovely mare Andrew's been putting around for a few years now. This is Andrew Turvey riding Knipes Destiny's Playgirl, competitor number 209. 210, Pete Comiskey, he's in the camp. Stand by 211, Harry Larnack and Jackpot. Thanks, Turv. We'll have a score coming through for Andrew Turvey and Destiny's Playgirl.
Last competitor, competitor number 209, Andrew Turvey with Knipes Destiny's Playgirl, scoring a 22 for the cutout, 61.67 were the horsework there, Turv. 4 course points, total 87.67. Put it with a 22 out of round 1, mate, that'll give you 109.67. 109.67 for Andrew Turvey's Knipes Destiny's Playgirl. You are now watching competitor number 210, Pete Comiskey, riding Roy, aka Nashville Royale Destiny.
This particular horse is owned by Bryony and Pete. He is by Acres Destiny and out of Bangtail Royale. Pete Comiskey needs no introduction here to the Willinga Park facilities. He's a 2-time winner. He's got 2 gold buckles at home, but I reckon he'd love a 3rd, and we'll get a score for you this time, Pete. Pete Comiskey, competitor number 210, riding Nashville Royale Destiny. Harry Larnack is looking over the cattle on Jackpot. 212, Sammy Southern, standby on Seligman Squirrel. 213 will be Jeff Willis, Harmony Acres, and 214, Mark Palmer, Dynamic.
Last competitor, competitor number 210, Pete Comiskey with Nashville Royale Destiny, scoring a further 22 points for cutout, 61 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll give another score of 87 points. Put that with an 88.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a grand total of 175.67 points for Pete Comiskey. In on camp, or actually working outside, we have Harry Larnack at 211 with Jackpot. In on camp, 212, Sam Southern with Seligman Squirrel. Last competitor, competitor number 211, Harry Larnack with Jackpot, scoring a further 22 points. Put it with a 21 out of round 1. Harry, that'll grand total of 43 points. You are now watching competitor number 212, Sam Southern, Seligman Squirrel. Jeff Willis, you're number 213. You'll be ready with Harmony Acres and Mark Palmer. You're not far away with Dynamic at 214.
Thallon competitor, we watch Sam Southern riding Seligman Squirrel, his own entry. Seligman spin mare. Sam's made the long trek down. He's a good little saddle bronc rider and a very handy camp drive competitor. This is Sam Southern, competitor number 212, riding Seligman Squirrel. 213, Jeff Willis, you're in the camp. Standby 214, Mark Palmer, Dynamic. Wyatt Young, 215. 216 will be Pat Hardwick, and 217, David Murphy.
Last competitor, number 212, Sam Southern with Seligman Squirrel, scoring a further 20.33 for the cutout. Put it with an 81 out of round number 1. That'll be a grand total of 101.33. 101.33, Sam. You're on camp now. You're watching competitor number 213, Jeff Willis with Harmony Acres. Mark Palmer, you are next in. Your competitor number 214 with Dynamic. Wyatt Young with Jewel, you're 215. And Pat Hardwick, you're 216. Last competitor number 213, Jeff Willis, scoring a further 20 points, but with a 20.33 out of round number 1. That'll be grand total of 40.33 points. In on camp now, competitor number 214, Mark Palmer, riding nomination in Dynamic. White Young, you be ready with Jewel. You're next in at 215.
Friend-eye competitor we watch, Mark Palmer, riding his entry Dynamic. This particular mare is a novice camp drafter, and her jockey has previously won 3 World Championships at Sydney. He's a winner of the Paradise Lagoons draft up there at Rockhampton. Very decorated cowboy in his time as well. This is Mark Palmer riding Palmer's Dynamic on behalf of Mark and Debbie Palmer from Quirindi.
The last competitor number 214, Mark Palmer and Dynamic, scoring a further 21 points. Put it with an 85.67 ringer. That will give you a 106.67 two-round score. Mark Palmer, Dynamic, competitor number 214, 106.67 score. You're watching now, competitor number 215, White Young and Jewel. Number 216, Pat Hardwick, you be ready with Wicked Duck and David Murphy. You're not far away at 217 with mobile price tag.
On course again for Wyatt Young, competitor number 215, riding the open mare by Acres Destiny called Jewel and belongs to Brad McNamara. We've seen Wyatt across the last couple of days. He came down with a team of 13 horses and he's certainly found his way around the course as the momentum builds here in the Wallinga Park Gold Buckle. This is the second round. From this we will take the aggregate scores and qualify for a semi-final. It'll then be clean slate and we're back into it, looking for the horses that will go through to the final. Wyatt's doing his best though. That was Wyatt Young and Jewel. We'll have a score for you shortly. 216 in the camp, Pat Hardwick. Looking at cattle, 217, David Murphy, please stand by on mobile price tag. Likewise 218, Scarlett Chaston.
Last competitor number 215, Wyatt Young and Jewel, scoring a 16.33 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 4 course points, grand total 79.33. Put it with a 21.33 from yesterday, my friend. That'll give you a grand total 100.67. You are now watching outside competitor number 216, Pat Hardwick with Wicked Duck. David Murphy on the camp at 217 with mobile price tag. Scarlett Chaston with Sunland Rivers, you're number 218. You're next in. The last competitor number 216, Pat Hardwick and Wicked Duck, scoring 20 points for cutout, 61 for horsework, another 4 course points. Grand total 85-point round. Put it with a 21.33 from round 1. That'll be a 106.33. You are now watching competitor number 217, David Murphy with mobile price tag. 218, you're next in, Scarlett Chaston with Sunland Rivers. Claire Holm and Tax Evader, you're number 219.
David Murphy we watch riding mobile price tag. David comes from Talbot and mobile price tag is a stallion who won champion SCA Open Horse of the Year as well as 15 drafts, but unfortunately today, David, we can only offer you a cutout score to add to your 86 from yesterday.
And that'll be a 19.67. 19.67, add it to the 86.67. That'll be a 106.33 for David Murphy's mobile price tag. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 218, Scarlett Chaston with Sunland Rivers. 219 will be Claire Holm with Tax Evader, and 220, Scott Jones with Diamond Dodwell Example. Last competitor, competitor number 218, Scarlett Chaston with Sunland Rivers, scoring a further 14 points. 14 points added to an 84 out of round one. That'll be a 98.2 round score. 98 points there for Scarlett Chaston and Sunland Rivers. In on camp now, 219, Claire Holm with a Tax Evader. Number 220, Scott Jones, Yubi at the gate with Diamond Dodwell Example. And 221, Mark Buttsworth with Granny's Rocks.
Competitor number 219, Claire Holm, makes her home at Wagga Wagga. She, on this occasion, rides her 16-year-old gelding, Burumbola Tax Evader, gelding by Hot Little Teddy. We wish them well. This is competitor 219, Claire Holm and Tax Evader. 220 into the camp, Scott Jones. Stand by 221, Mark Buttsworth. Likewise 222, Matt Durkin, smooth as a minx.
Last competitor, competitor number 219, Claire Holm with Tax Evader, scoring a further 19.67 for cutout, 60.33 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be grand total, 84 points. We put that with an 83 out of round one. That'll be a 2-round score of a 167. 167 points for Claire Holmes, Tax Evader. You are now watching competitor number 220, Scott Jones, Diamond Dodwell Example, Mark Buttsworth. You be ready at 221 with Granny's Rocks.
Scott Jones has made the trip from Old Junee and rides Diamond Dodwell Example. A lovely entrant by Wallabar XL, that lovely horse we saw of Simon Dodwell's. And they've got a 4-pointer on the board. We'll have a score coming through for Scott Jones and Diamond Dodwell Example.
Competitor number 220, Scott Jones, Diamond Dodwell Example, scoring a 20 for cutout, 61.33 for horsework, another 4 course points, grand total 85.33. Put that with a 78 out of round one, that'll be a 163.33. 163.33 points for Scott Jones with Diamond Dodwell Example. You are now watching competitor number 221, Mr. Mark Buttsworth with the Granny's Rocks. Matt Durkin, you're next in at 222 with Smooth as a Minx. Adam Wheeler, don't be far away, you're 223 with Dingo Brooks Spider-Man.
Looking for a second peg now. This is competitor number 221, Mark Buttsworth, riding John Farnham's entry, Granny's Rocks. Mark and Beck made the trip down from Kingaroy. We heard in his lovely interview yesterday, it's a bit of a versatile trip. They've got horses here with them for the Cloncurry Stockman's Challenge. They've got futurity horses on the way to meet them. He is certainly a man of many talents, is Mark Buttsworth. On that occasion, he rode Granny's Rocks, and we will have a score for him shortly.
Competitor number 221, Mark Buttsworth with Granny's Rocks, scoring a 22 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 course points, grand total 86. Put it with a 22, that'll be a 108, a 2-round score. Matt Durkin, you're watching at 222, Smooth as a Minx. Adam Wheeler, you're number 223 with Dingo Brooks, Spider-Man and Robbie Block, 224 with Triple J.
Yeah, Matt Durkin rides Smooth as a Minx, mare by Smooth as a Cat. That he won a futurity draft up there at Paradise Lagoons on and recently won a novice. This is Matt Durkin riding Smooth as a Minx, competitor number 222. 223 moves in the yard. Adam Wheeler, stand by Robbie Block, 224. Thanks, Spade MD. We'll have a score shortly for Matt Durkin and Smooth as a Minx.
Competitor number 222, Matt Durkin with Smooth as Mink, scoring a 22 for cutout, 61.33 for horsework, another 4 course points. Grand total 87.33. Put that with a 15.67 out of round number 1. That'll be at 103. 103 points for Matt Durkin with Smooth as a Minx. You're now watching competitor number 223, Adam Wheeler. Riding the nomination in Dingo Brook Spider-Man.
Adam Wheeler riding Dingo Brook Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a 12-year-old novice gelding by Strider. He has made the trip from Cudgee-War, but unfortunately we're only going to have a camp score to add to Adam's score from yesterday.
Last competitor, competitor number 223, Adam Wheeler with Dingo Brook Spider-Man, scoring a 20.33. Add that with a nice 88 from yesterday, will be a 108.33. In on camp now, you are watching Mr. Robbie Block riding his nomination Triple J. He is number 224, 225, be Bronwyn Upjohn with Cliffy, and 226, Kimberley Salmon with Amaroo Hickory's Blue Boon.
On course is a call for competitor number 224, Rob Block. Robbie and Rose live up there at Inverell, run an agency business. On this occasion, he rides his entry in Triple J. Into the camp, 225, Bronwyn Upjohn. Standby, Kimberley Salmon, 226. 227 will be Susie Dynastis, and 228, Mick Otten. Looking for a gate here, though, and I'm sure the live stream would be flying at Inverell. Big shout out to Rosie and the kids. This is Robbie Block riding Triple J.
Last competitor, competitor number 224, Robbie Block with Triple J, scoring a 16 for cutout, 58 for horsework, another 3 course points, my friend. That'll be a grand total of 77. Put it with your 83 out of round 1, that'll be a 160. 160 points for Robbie Block and Triple J. You're now watching competitor number 225, Bronwyn Upjohn with Cliffy. Kimberley Salmon, you are number 226 with Amaroo Hickory's Blue Boon, and number 227, Susan Dynastis with Hall's Smick Rio.
On course for competitor number 225, Bronwyn Upjohn riding her entry Cliffy. Cliffy is by Electric Plague Boy out of Special Treat. I really love Bronwyn's comment. The best camp drafting advice she has received is to learn as much as you can and enjoy it. And I tell you what an enjoyable day of drafting it is here in this wonderful facility, chasing these beautiful Willinga Park Herefords. This is competitor number 225, Bronwyn Upjohn and Cliffy, looking for a gate here in the second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. Kimberley Salmon, you're next, 226. Standby 227, Susan Dynastis.
The last competitor, competitor number 225, Bronwyn Upjohn with Cliffy, scoring a further 22 points. 22 for the cutout. Put it with the 23 out of yesterday's cutout. That'll be a 45 points. 2-round score. So thank you, Bronwyn. Bronwyn Upjohn and Cliffy scoring 45 points. In on camp now, 226, Kimberley Salmon, Amaroo Hickory's Blue Boon.
Outside for Bow Desert competitor Kimberley Salmon, riding Amaroo Hickory's Blue Boon for Anthony Gotch. Kimberley and her partner Jake and lovely little daughter Maggie have made the trip down from up there at Bow Desert. But unfortunately today, Kimbo, we can only give you a cutout score for Hickory's Blue Boon.
Better number 226, Kimberley Salmon, Amaroo Hickory's Blue Boon, scoring a further 22.33 for cutout. Put it with a 22 out of round number 1. That'll be a 44.33 two-round score. You are now watching competitor number 227, Susan Dynastis, Halls Smick Rio. Mick Otten, your number 228 with Mumbula. Anamone. Number 229, Adam Felton, and Trewarrick Sunny, and number 230, Ben Maidham, Eve Costa.
Yarraman competitor we watch, Susan Dynastis, riding her entry, Halls Smick Rio. Smick Rio is an 8-year-old mare by Play Rio, out of that mare in 49er Chick. Susan will be followed by number 28, Mick Otten, riding Mumbala Anamone. Adam Felton, he'll ride at 229 on Trewarrick Sunny, and Ben Maidham will see you at 2:30. On course though, looking for a second peg to build on yesterday's score. This is Susan Dynastis riding Halls Schmick Rio.
Competitor number 227, Susan Dynastis with Hall Smick Rio, scoring a 20 for cutout, 58.33 for horsework. Another 3 course points, that'll be a total of 81.33. Put that with a yesterday's score of 86.67, will be a grand total of 168. 168 points for Susan Dynastis, Hall Smick Rio. You are now watching competitor number 228, Mick Otten with Mumbula Anamone. Following that will be 229, Adam Felton with Trewarrick Sunny, and number 230, Ben Maidham, Don't Be Far Away with Evie Costa. Bad luck there. Last competitor, number 228, Mick Otten. Goes out with a no score, but gets to keep the points from yesterday, round number 1, which will be an 84.67. The camp is clear. We will have 229, Adam Felton, Trewarrick Sunny. Ben Maidham, you're next in at 2:30 with Eva Costa, and number 231, Steve Comiskey with Peppy Painted Doll. Troy Palmer, Don't Be Far Away, you're number 232 with Cow Chick.
Working in camp now, this is competitor number 229, Adam Felton, riding Trewarrick Sunny on behalf of A.G. Goodman and H.J. Fordham. Adam made the trip down from Atunga up there around Tamworth. And Sunny is a 14-year-old gelding, won the Stockhorse National Maturity, multiple open challenges and open camp draft winner. We wish them well. This is Adam Felton, competitor number 229, riding at Trewarrick Sunny. Ben Maidham moves into the yard on E.V. Costa. 231, Stevie Comiskey standby on Peppy Painted Doll. Likewise 232, Troy Palmer, Cowchick. 233 will be John Turvey, Willinga Park Fable. 234 will be Ian Clark on the Great Charlie Roan. And 235, Roger Grant on Surnston Park, Judge Destiny.
Last competitor, competitor number 229, Adam Felton with Trewarrick Sunny, scoring a further 20 points. 20 points for the cutout. Put that with a 75.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a 95.67 two-round score. You are now watching competitor number 230, Ben Maidham with EV Costa. Waiting at the gate, 231 will be Steve Comiskey with Peppy Painted Doll, and 232, none other than Mr. Troy Palmer's Cow Chick.
Active competitor we watch, Ben Maidham, riding Andrew and Carolyn Burns' entry, EV Costa, by Acres Destiny. And campaigned by Andrew and Carolyn, typically. Winner of the 2019, was the 2019 AQA runner-up camp draft horse of the year. This is Ben Maidham, a decorated camp drafter and cowboy. Has won a rock riding title and various camp drafts, including the World Championships there at Sydney. Looking now for a gate here. We'll leave that one up to the officials. We're so grateful to our 3 judges here this week. A big job judging this many events, this many competitors rather, and we're very grateful to them. The score will come through for Ben Maidham and EV Costa. Couldn't think of the names.
Last competitor, competitor number 230, Ben Maidham with EV Costa, scoring at 20.67 for cutout. 58.33 were the horse work. Another 3 course points there, Ben. 82-point round. Put it with an 88 out of round number 1. That'll be a 170, a 170 for Ben Maidham with EV Costa. You are now watching competitor number 231, Steve Comiskey with Peppy Painted Doll. Troy Palmer, you're next in, 232 with Cow Chick. John Turvey, don't be far away, you're 233 with Wallinga Park Fable.
On course proper for Stevie Comiskey and Peppy Painted Doll, an entry owned by Cameron and Zoe York, 14-year-old mare. Steve and Louis made the trip down from Capella. Came via the Great Paradise Lagoon set draft there, where Stevie cleaned up and won the big open, so we wish them well. This is Steve Comiskey, competitor number 231. Time, that's time, thank you judges. Score will come through for Steve Comiskey and Cameron and Zoe York's entry, Peppy Painted Doll.
Last competitor, competitor number 231, Steve Comiskey with Peppy Painted Doll, scoring a 16 for cutout, 56 for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be a 75-point round. Put it with a 21.33 from yesterday, and that'll be a 96.33 two-round score, 96.33. You are now watching Mr. Troy Palmer at competitor number 232, riding his nomination in Cow Chick.
And Beardy Cow Chick is a mare by Impressive Destiny out of Condamine Cowgirl. She's a 10-year-old novice mare owned by Troy and Fee themselves. Ooh. We'll just check that Troy's all right. He's up and going, we're grateful for that. We're glad to see you back on your pins, Troy. That's Troy Palmer, a great contributor to this event. We wish him well, he's got some good help around him. Hannah and Fee will make sure he's okay, and Cow Chick's okay. So that was Troy Palmer and Cow Chick. We will move to competitor number 233, John Turvey, Wallinga Park Fable. Entry owned by Terry Snow. Following Turv, 234, Ian Clark, Charlie Roan. Standby 235, Roger Grant and Serenston Park, Judge Destiny.
Last competitor, 232, Troy Palmer's Cow Chick, scoring a 21 there for the cutout. Unfortunately, he didn't make it all the way round, but put it with an 82.33. That'll be a 103.33. You are now watching Willinga Park Fable with Mr. John Turvey at competitor 233. Outside, inside, we have Ian Clark with none other than Charlie Roan as competitor number 234. Last competitor, 233, John Turvey with Willinga Park Fable, scoring 21.67 for cutout, 63 points for horsework. Another 4 course points there, Turv. That'll be a total of 88.67 point round. Put it with a 21 out of round 1, that'll be 109.67. You are now watching competitor number 234, Ian Clark with Charlie Roan. Waiting at the gate will be number 235, Roger Grant with Serenson Park, Judge Destiny and Hugh Miles. You are number 236 with Destiny's Playgirl.
Corindi competitor, we watch Ian Clark riding Ian and Carol Clark's entry, the beautiful gelding Charlie Roan. He's a 16-year-old gelding by Pepto Stylish Oak and out of Cherry Spin and Oak. Consistent and a lovely horse that we all make sure we get over and have a look and watch Charlie Roan and Ian go round. He's a horse that is loved by the whole family and everyone who gets a chance to watch him. This is Charlie Roan and Ian Clark, competitor number 234. Roger Grant is into the camp. Hugh Miles, 236, you're standing by. Good job, Clarkie. Bet you're glad I talked you into coming. That's Ian Clark, folks, 234, riding Charlie Roan. A score will come through for you, Clarkie.
Last competitor, 234, Ian Clark with Charlie Roan, scoring 21.33 for cutout, 62 points for horsework. Another 4 course points there, Ian. Grand total, 87.33. Put it with a 22 out of round number 1. That'll be a 109.33. You are now watching Mr. Roger Grant, one of the partners here from Kubar Performance Horses at 235, Serenson Park, Judge Destiny. Waiting at the gate, Hugh Miles, 236, Destiny's Playgirl.
And Serenton Park Judge Destiny is a gelding, 6-year-old gelding by Soda Justice out of an Acres Destiny mare. As Beardy said, Roger and the Kubar team are great supporters of this event. They themselves have a beautiful facility up there out of Tamworth. We wish them well. Competitor number 235, Roger Grant and Judge Destiny. Huey Miles is on the camp, riding Destiny's Playgirl. Standby 237, Dean Rogers, Eve and Con. 238 will be Phil Collins, Bob Jane. And 239, Josh Gibson, Acres Outlaw.
The last competitor, competitor number 235, Roger Grant, scoring 15 for cutout, 55 for horsework. Another 3 course points there, Rog. Grand total, 73 points. Put it with an 86.67 from yesterday. That'll give you a grand total of 159.67. 159.67 points for Roger Grant.
On course now, this is competitor number 236, Hugh Miles riding Destiny's Playgirl, another lovely entrant belonging to Peter and Carolyn Doonan from up there at Charters Towers. This particular mare is an open mare by Acres Destiny, a mare that has been part of Hugh's team for a while and enjoying great success. Another 4-pointer on the board. I can assure you the Doonan family will be cheering. We'll have a score for you shortly, Huey.
Yeah, last competitor, 236, Hugh Miles with Destiny's Playgirl, scoring a 21 for cutout, 61.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. Another nice score of 86.67. Put it with an 87.67 out of round number 1, and that'll be a 174.33. 174.33, 2-round score for Hugh Miles and Destiny's Playgirl.
Competitor number 237 working in camp now. This is Dean Rogers riding Eve and Con. Dean comes to us from Bega. His particular entrant is a 6-year-old open mare. She was purchased out of the first Wallinga Park sale and carries the great Conman Acres Destiny Cross. This is Eve and Con, ridden by Dean Rogers. Competitor number 237. 238 moves into the yard. Phil Collins, Bob Jane. Standby 239, Josh Gibson, Acres Outlaw. 240 will be Ben Hall's Cosmo. 241, Lockie Sim, Con S. Jack Southern we see at 242 on Razor Burnsmall, and Matt French 243 and Charm. On course though, we watch Dean Rogers riding Eve and Con, competitor number 237.
Last competitor, number 237, Dean Rogers with Eve and Con, scoring a 21 for cutout. 54.67 worth of horsework, another 3 course points. It'll be a 78.67 full round score. Put it with an 87 out of round number 1. That'll be a 165.67 for Dean Rogers and Eve and Con. You're watching 238, Philip Collins with Bob Jane.
Bob Jane is a quarter horse mare who is an open camp drafter. She's been through the cutting futurity and is now successfully competing in camp drafts, as we can see here, piloted by Phil Collins on behalf of the Collins and Payton partnership. Phil comes to us from Bombala. One of his career highlights is winning the Equitana camp draft. We'll leave that one up to the judges. Thanks, Phil. Josh Gibson moves into the yard, 239, Acres Outlaw, standby, 240, Ben Hall and Cosmo.
Last competitor, number 238, Philip Collins with Bob Jane, scoring a 14.33 for cutout, 58.33 for horsework, another 3 course points. It'll be a grand total of 75.66. Unfortunately, no further points out of round number 1, so 75.66 will be the number. In on camp now, you are watching competitor number 239, Josh Gibson without Acres Outlaw. Ben Hall, you be at the gate with Cosmo. You are number 240, and Lockie Sim, you're 241 with Con S. The last competitor, competitor number 239, Josh Gibson with Acres Outlaw. Unfortunately goes out with a no score, but Josh, you get to keep the 21.67 from yesterday, my friend. In on camp now, competitor number 240, Ben Hall, Cosmo. 241, Lockie Sim, be ready at the gate with Con S, and 242, Jack Southern with Razor Burnsmall.
Ben Hall we watch, competitor number 240, riding his open mare by Conman, a mare called Cosmo, owned by Ben and Jay Hall. Ben and Jay and their children, Wyatt and Madison, make their home up there between Julia Creek and Muddaborough. But unfortunately, Ben, we can't give you much more than a cutout score for Cosmo today.
Competitor number 240, Ben Hall and Cosmo, scoring a further 21.67 for cutout. You get to put it with the 73.33 from yesterday, my friend. That'll give you a grand total, a 2-round score of 95 points. In on camp now, you are watching competitor number 241, Lockie Sim and Con S. 242 will be Jack Southern, 243, Matt French, 244, Zeb Pearce.
Holbrook competitor we watch, Lockie Sim, riding Lockie and Beck Sim's entrant, Con S. Con S is a mare by Hazelwood Conman out of Sereness. Lock is a decorated camp drafter, including NCCA rider title qualifier. He also has a little bit of traffic happening out there. We'll leave that one up to the judges. Bit of extra traffic out there whilst Lockie was having his run, so he will come back in on Con S. Competitor number 241, Lockie Sim, gets a rerun there. Hey, big thank you to our judges for overseeing the proceedings here. Mark Ruff from Diggers Rest in Victoria, Rodney McKinnon from up there between Narrabri and Horton in the New South Wales area, and Pete Dowling made the trip down from Cloncurry. It's a big job, folks, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them. Every now and then we have an incident like that, and it's the judge's job to oversee proceedings and make a call, and we get to see Lockie Sim have his chance again, riding Con S. Jack Southern, standby on Razor Burnsmore, likewise 243, Matt French and Charm.
The last competitor, competitor number 241, Lockie Sim and Con S, scoring a 20.33 for cutout, 62 worth of horse work, another 4 course points, 86.33. Put that with an 87.33 from round number 1. That'll be 173.67 full 2-round score. You are now watching competitor number 242, Jack Southern with Raise a Boonsmall.
Razor Boonsmall is a 9-year-old gelding by R.S. Chisholm and out of a Doc Spinifex mare in Lethal Spin. He's successful in the cutting pen before heading into Jack's hands, where he's now a successful camp horse. He's an open gelding. Jack makes his home up there at Secret Plains between Bollen and St George, where the red dust blows and the champagne flows. Jackie Southern, we wish him well. Competitor number 242, riding Razor Boonsmall. 243 moves in the yard, Matt French on Charm. Standby 244, Zeb Pearce, Moxie's Storm.
Competitor number 242, Jack Southern with Razorboon Small, scoring a 21.33 for cutout, 61.33 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be a full round score of 86.66. Put it with a 19.67 from round 1. That'll be a 106.33. 106.33 points for Jack Southern's Razorboon Small. You are now watching Mr. Matt French with Clonmel Charm as 243, 244 Zeb Pearce and Moxie Storm.
That's time, folks. Time, thank you, judges. We'll have a score come through for Matt French and Clonmel Charm.
The last competitor, 243, Matt French with Clonmel Charm, scoring 21 for cutout, 52.33 for horsework, another 3 course points. Grand total of 76.33. Put it with a 21.67 out of round number 1, and that'll be a 98.2 round score. Righto, you are now watching competitor number 244, Zeb Pearce with Moxie Storm. Number 245, Morris Gray and Rainmaker, and 246, Tommy Williamson with Titan.
And Moxie Storm is a 7-year-old mare by Pepto Stylish Oak. Zeb makes his home there at Merrywall. And Sky would be giving plenty of support from the sidelines here today. This is Zeb Pearce riding Moxie Storm, his own entry. Stand by 245, Morris Gray. Likewise 246, Tommy Williamson's Titan.
The last competitor, 244, Zeb Pearce, Moxie Storm, scoring a 22 points for cutout, 63 for horsework there, Zeb. 4 course points, a grand total, 89-point round. You put that with an 85.67 out of round number 1, that'll be 174.67. 174.67, 2-round score. You are now watching competitor number 245, Morris Gray and Rainmaker. 246, Tommy Williamson with Titan, and 247, Pete Comiskey with Brittany. Last Comiskey with Brittany.
Yeah, and young Tommy Williamson made the trip down from Glen Innes with his family. He rides Titan, a metallic cat entry owned by Jennifer Halfpenny. Doing their best to add to a score yesterday. This is Tommy Williamson, 17 years old, with a big career and future ahead of him, looking for a gate here in this second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do it. Score coming through for you, Tommy.
The last competitor, Tommy Williamson at number 246 and Titan, scoring a 20 for cutout, 61 for horsework, another 4 course points there, Tommy. Grand total, 85-point round. Put it with an 84.67 from round number 1. It'll be a 169.67 points. In on camp now, you're watching competitor number 247, Pete Comiskey, riding Rodan Ripoff Chicks, a.k.a. Brittany. Number 248, Cindy Barnes and Delta.
Yeah, and this particular entry, ladies and gentlemen, is the previous winner of this Willinga Park Gold Buckle. A lovely Conman mare, belongs to Pete, a mare called Brittany. He owns two of these gold buckles, and they were won by two half-sisters, in fact. This is Pete Comiskey. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again because I think it's quite amazing. He has got more ACO Open Rider titles than we have fingers and toes. That's how many he's got. He's the best. That is Pete Comiskey, and another score is coming his way. Cindy Barnes is in camp, competitor number 248, and Delta, standby 249, Jared Fitzpatrick, and Aurora Park Destiny.
20.67 for cutout, 62.33 with the horse work. Another 4 course points there, Pete. Grand total 87 points. Put it with an 87.66 yesterday. That'll be a nice score of 174.67. Working outside now, we have Cindy Barnes at number 248 with Delta. Last competitor, 248, Cindy Barnes and Delta, scoring an 18.67. Put it with a 15 out of round number 1. That'll be a 33.67 two-round score. You are now watching competitor number 249, Jared Fitzpatrick. Aurora Park Destiny, waiting at the gate, will be Mr. Brett Welsh with All Stars Halo. He's competitor number 250, 251 will be Jeff Wallen with Coolum Isabella, number 252, Wyatt Young with Binia Milan.
This is competitor number 249, Jared Fitzpatrick, riding Aurora Park Destiny, a 6-year-old mare purchased out of the Nutrien Classic up there at Tamworth. She won her first maiden this year. Jared makes his home at Bacchus Marsh with one of his career highlights, winning his first open draft there at his local draft. So we wish them well. This is Jared Fitzpatrick riding his entry, Aurora Park Destiny. Brett Welsh moves into the yard, All Stars Halo, standby Jeff Wallen, number 251, and Coolum Isabel. Then my friend Wyatt Young is 252 on that great mare in Milan.
Competitor number 249, Jared Fitzpatrick with Aurora Park Destiny, scoring a 17 for cutout, 57.33 for the horsework there, another 3 course points. That'll be a grand total and 1 round score of 77.33. You put it with an 89 out of round number 1. That'll be a 166.33. You are now watching competitor number 250, Brett Welsh with All Stars Halo. 251, Jeff Wallen, you're next in with Coolum Isabel.
Got a great afternoon of drafting in front of us, folks. We've run through to 430-odd competitors in this second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. And then we head into that cutout qualifier, which is 40-odd of some of the best cutout horses in the country. If those competitors haven't submitted any paperwork, please either drop down and catch up with the girls or see Gavin or I. Otherwise, we'll make some stuff up. That's for the cutout qualifier, but I tell you what, we'll have warm seats, and front row seats will be a really handy place to be to watch that this afternoon. It'll be great, a great event. No different, though, than this second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. Brett Welsh just put another one through the gate. We'll have a score for him very shortly.
Last competitor, 250, Brett Welsh, scoring a 21 for cutout, 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points there, Welshie. Grand total, 87.67. Put it with a 77.67 out of round number 1. That'll be 165.33. 165.33 for Brett Welsh and All Stars Halo. You're watching competitor number 251, Jeff Wallen, Coolum Isabel. Wyatt Young, you're next in at 252 with Binia Milan.
Once again, we received some fresh cattle there for Jeff Wallen, competitor number 251. Made the trip down from up there at Lockyer Waters. Jeff is riding his own entry in Coolum Isabel, a 16-year-old mare who's won a couple of novices, placed in many opens, and has been very competitive since an early 3-year-old. So this is Jeff Wallen and his entry, Coolum Isabel. Standing by 252, Wyatt Young, Binia Milan, likewise 253, Brendan Day and Ray's Imagination. There's a scratching at 254, so Penny McIntosh, 255, you will follow Brendan Day. On course proper though, this is Lockyer Waters competitor, Jeff Wallen, riding Coolum Isabel.
Last competitor, 251, Jeff Wallen with Coolum Isabel, scoring a 20.67 for cutout. Put it with a 21.67 from round number 1. That'll be a 42.33. 2-round score for Jeff Wallen and Coolum Isabel. You are now watching Mr. Wyatt Young at competitor number 252 with his mare in Binia Milan.
And Milan is a beautiful, impressive Destiny mare owned by Janelle Young. She was the 2022 World Championship winner at Sydney Show. She's the 2022 ABCRA Novice Horse of the Year. She is a magnificent mare that I know Wyatt gets so much joy from, and we all enjoy watching her too. This is Binia Milan and Wyatt Young, Tamworth competitor, looking to build a score in this second round. Into the camp, 253, Brendan Day, Ray's Imagination. 254 is out, so Penn McIntosh, you're next on Amax Stormy. 256 will be Campbell Bailey on Freestyle, and 257, Alex Malloy on Coral 7th Heaven. Outside though, showing us how it's done, this is competitor number 252, Wyatt Young, riding his entry, Binia Milan. On your ERP, score will come through for Binia Milan and Wyatt Young.
And just while we've got the opportunity there, a big thank you from Warlinga Park and all the competitors, of course, here to Rawhide for their support and providing the prestigious saddle for the Gold Buckle Champion. Custom-made saddle will be presented to the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft Champion. So a big thank you there to Rawhide for supplying that. The last competitor, 252, Wyatt Young with Binia Milan, scoring a 22 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework and other 4 course points. That'll be an 86.67 round. Put it with an 89 out of round number 1. That'll be 175.67. You're now watching 253, Brendan Day, Ray's Imagination.
And Imagination is by Rosie Garter out of a Hankman Leo mare. Brendan Day comes to us from Currawarna. Into the camp, 254 is a scratching, so Penny McIntosh moves into the yard. We'll have one removed, please, gentlemen. 254 is a scratching, so Penny McIntosh, 255, moves onto the camp, riding Amax Stormy. 256, please stand by Campbell Beaulieu on Freestyle.
Competitor number 253, Brendan Day with Ray's Imagine, scoring an 18 point for cutout, 57.33 for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be a 78.33 point round. Put it with a 16.67 from round 1. That'll be a 95 2-round score. You're now watching competitor number 255, Penny McIntosh with Amax Stormy. Number 256 will be Campbell Boileau with Freestyle.
Penny McIntosh makes her home up at Lundavar in Queensland. She rides a lovely 10-year-old gelding called Amax Stormy, a horse by Mr. Hyde. And out of that great mare, Tass's Stormy Oak that Ben McNaughton campaigned. Stormy is a novice gelding and a valued part of Penn's team. Penny will be followed by 256, Campbell Baillieu. On freestyle, please stand by Alex Malloy, 257, and Coral 7th Heaven. But right now, we wish them well. This is 255, Penny McIntosh, riding her own entry in AMAC Stormy. And Stormy and Penn are doing a great job out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's certainly some fantastic camp drafting here in this second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. A great horse and a hell of a cowgirl on board. That's Penny McIntosh and AMAC Stormy. We will leave that to the judges. We'll have a score for you shortly, Penn.
Last competitor number 255, Penny McIntosh with AMAC Stormy, 22 for Cutout, 63 for Horsework there, Penny. 4 course points and an 89-point round. 89 points, round 2, 21, round 1. That'll be a grand total of 110. In on camp now, 256, Campbell Baillieu with freestyle. Alex Malloy, you're number 257 with Coral 7th Heaven. So as mentioned there, Heidi, that was it will be a spectacle there this evening, that cutout. So those of you who aren't competing in that, you want to grab yourself a chair, come and sit ringside, because it's always a very, very exciting event. Flick the computer on and watch from home, or come and sit ringside, but it's always an exciting event. I think there's some, 40 competitors this evening in that event, so that will be very much a spectacle. Come and watch some of the best cutout horses in the country compete here tonight in that cutout. Last competitor number 256, Campbell Baillieu, with a 19.67 cutout, 51.67 for Horsework, 3 course points, a 74.34. 74.34 for Campbell Baillieu. No further points from yesterday, so there's the numbers, 74.34. You're watching now, number 257, Alex Malloy with Coral 7th Heaven. Last competitor, 257, Alex Malloy, Coral 7th Heaven, scoring a further 20 points. Add that with an 88.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a 2-round score of 108.67. You are now watching 258, Purdy Ray and Norm Stagg.
Norm Stagg makes the trip down from up there at Westdale and the Tamworth area. He rides Purdy Ray, an 8-year-old mare, sired by Hard Hat Henry and out of SOS Meerkat. This particular mare won the novice draft at Murrurundi. She's had numerous placings and is owned and campaigned by Norm. We wish them well. This is competitor number 258, Norm Stagg, riding Purdy Ray. Into the camp, please. 259, Shane Palmer, Don't Look Back. 260 will be Robert Leach, Peel Vale Truce, stand by. 261, Stephen Hart and Bulla Mika. On course though, this is Westdale competitor, Norman Stagg, riding his entry, Purdy Ray.
The last competitor, 258, Norm Stagg with Purdy Ray, scoring at 20 points. 20 points there for the cutout, unfortunately no round 1 points, so 20 points is the number. In on camp now, you are watching competitor number 259, Shane Palmer with Don't Look Back. Robert Leach with Peel Vale Truce, you are number 260 at the gate, please.
This particular entrant of Shane's, Don't Look Back, is a 9-year-old novice mare by Tap Dancing Cat and is owned by Ben Tapp and Mike Ben. Shane has made the long trek down from Tamworth via the Paradise Lagoons event, so he's certainly taken the long way round, but we welcome him here. This is Shane Palmer, competitor number 259, riding Don't Look Back. Rob Leach, you're next in. 260, 261, Stephen Hart, stand by. Rightio, competitor number 260 working in camp now. This is Robert Leach riding Peel Vale Truce. This particular horse is by Conductor, and he did indeed win the 2023 Nutrien Equine Classic Camp Draft. He and Rob put 3 together over a big few days there. He is owned by Richard and Georgia Chugg of Lowly Pastoral. 5-year-old gelding by Conductor, being campaigned here by Rob Leach. This is Peel Vale Truce, competitor number 260.
Previous competitor, number 259, Mr. Shane Palmer with Don't Look Back, scoring a further 15 points. Put it with an 18 out of the first, and that'll be our 33.33. Last competitor, number 260, Mr. Robert Leach with Peel Vale Truce, scoring a 21 for cutout, 63.33 for horsework. 4 course points, that'll be an 88.33 round. Put it with an 85.67, that'll give you a grand total of 174, 2-round score. You're now watching 261, Stephen Hart with Bullamika.
Bullamika is a 7-year-old mare by Smooth the Cat out of Angel Spin. She's a novice mare, owned by Stephen Hart from Gugong.
Last competitor, 261, Stephen Hart and Bullamika, scoring a 21.67 for cutout. Put it with an 82 out of round number 1, and that'll be a 103.67, 103.67, 2-round score. You are now watching In on Camp, none other than Mr. Andrew Sheridan with Sherrow's Aristocrat. Number 263 will be Bill Carey. You be at the gate with Witherspoon Bill. 264, Zane Haberman with Memphis. Don't be far away.
On course for Wagga Wagga competitor Andrew Sheridan, riding Sherrow's Aristocrat. This particular mare is a 3/4 sister to Andrew's own stallion in traditional acres. She's a maiden mare, but a much loved pony on Andrew's truck. Andrew himself was a finalist here last year in the Willinga Park Gold Buckle, and I bet he'd like to be one again this year. This is Andrew Sheridan, competitor number 262, riding Sherrow's Aristocrat. Spotlight goes to you at 263, Billy Carey on Witherspoon. Stand by 264, Zane Haberman and Memphis.
Last competitor, 262, Andrew Sheridan with Sherrow's Aristocrat, scoring a 21 for the cutout. 60.67 were the horse work. Another 4 course points. That'll be an 85.67 round. Put that with an 87.33 out of round number 1. That'll be a 173. 173 for Andrew Sheridan and Sherrow's Aristocrat. Number 263 this time, Bill Carey's Witherspoon and Zane Haberman. Your number 264. You be at the gate with Memphis.
Yeah, Bill Carey, we watch competitor number 263, riding his entry Witherspoon. She's a novice mare, owned by Bill and Jill, up there at Gundawindi. Bill runs a successful horse training business and is a proud dad of a couple of very cute little girls, but unfortunately today all we can add for you is a cutout score, Billy, Bill Carey and Witherspoon.
Competitor 263, Bill Carey and Witherspoon, scoring a further 21.33 for the cutout. Put it with a 16.67. It'll be a 2-round score, Bill, of 38 points. In on camp now, 264, Zane Haberman and Memphis. 265, Tim McLaughlin. You be at the gate, please, with Peel Vale Chick's Wish. Matt Holtz, don't be far away. You're 266 with Taraway Grace.
Yeah, one of my favourite mares, this one. This is Memphis, owned by Kerry Thompson. She's a 16-year-old open mare by Mentor. Benara Mentor, campaigned here on this occasion by Zane Haberman. Zane's made the long trip down from Springshaw, but he assures us he's well rested because he didn't do any of the driving. He left that to his travelling partner in Huey Miles. I'm sure the banter would be live. Zane Haberman we watch as he looks for a gate here on his entry, Memphis. Tim McLaughlin, 265, you're next up. Please stand by. 266, Matt Holtz. Hugh Miles, 267, 268 will be Terry Hall, Breck Shudderduct, and 269, Ben McNaughton's Omo.
The last competitor, 264, Zane Haberman from Memphis, scoring a 21.33 for cutout, 57 for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be an 81.33 round. Put it with an 87 out of round number 1. That'll be a 168.33. You're watching outside, number 265, Tim McLaughlin with Peel Vale Chick's Wish.
And Chick's Wish is a 7-year-old mare by Millionaire Chick out of that beautiful mare of Huey Miles's in Peel Vale Wishes. Chick's Wish is a novice mare, a graduate of the Willinga Park Yearling Sale, in fact. She went on to final in both the Challenge and the Classic camp drafts, and for 2 consecutive years at the Nutrient Classic. This is Tim Minogue's own horse in Peel Vale Chick's Wish, made the trip down from Peaks Crossing in Queensland. Tim McLaughlin, apologies.
Last competitor, 265, Tim McLaughlin with Peel Vale Chick's Wish, scoring a 20.67 for the cutout. Put it with a 20 out of round number 1. That'll be a 40.67 2-round score. You are watching Mr. Matthew Holtz. Here's competitor number 266, riding Taraway Grass. Hugh Miles, you're next in. You're number 267 with Chick Acres, and Terry Hall, don't be far away, with Brex Shudderduck at your 268.
Yeah, on course for 266, Matt Holt and Taraway Grace, a 12-year-old open mare. For those who haven't worked it out yet, this is your winner from last year. Matt Holt was riding another horse, one of his other entries last year, to take home the big gold buckle here, and I bet you'd love to back up and do it again on Taraway Grace, owned by Fiona DiPetta. Huey Miles moves into the yard on Chick Acres, 268, standby Terry Hall. Thanks, Matt. Score will come through for Matt Holt and Taraway Grace.
Last competitor, 266, Matt Holtz with Taraway Grey, scoring a 21 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, another 4 course points there, Matthew. That'll be an 85.67 round. I tell you what, you put that with an 89.67, and that's a nice score of a 175.33. You're watching now, number 267, Hugh Miles and Chick Acres.
On this occasion, Hugh rides his own mare, a mare called Chick Acres, who is an open mare by Millionaire Chick. She ran second in the Willinga Gold Buckle last year. I can guarantee you he would love to jump that up to first place. This is Hugh Miles. Makes his home out of Tamworth. A horse trainer, camp draft and cutting horse trainer up there east of Tamworth. A beautiful spot in the Dungowan Valley. This is Huey Miles riding Chick Acres, competitor number 267. 268, Terry Hall moves on to the camp. 269, Ben McNaughton standby on Omo. And 270, Scotty Shea and Hannaford stud Renegade. There you go, Huey, a 4-pointer on the board. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, the camp drafting here this afternoon is second to none.
100% correct there, Heidi. I tell you what, the drafting here this afternoon at Willinga Park has been second to none. Last competitor, 267, Hugh Miles, Chick Acres, scoring a 22 for cutout, 63 for horsework, another 4 course points. That's an 89-point round. You put that with an 88.67 out of round number 1, and that's a 177.67 2-round score for Hugh Miles and Chick Acres. You are now watching outside Mr. Terry Hall with his nomination in Breck's Shoulda Duck. Ben McNaughton, you're next in with Omo. You're number 269.
And Breck's Shoulda Duck is another one of those great Hazelwood Conman mares out of Disco Duck. Terry Hall, we have seen over the years, do everything that you can do in this sport of camp drafting. His house nearly rattles with grandfather clocks ringing, 4 of them in fact. He's got 2 Warwick Gold Cups and a highly celebrated camp drafter himself. This is Terry Hall, made the trip down from Gundawindi. He is riding his entry in Breck's Shoulda Duck. That's time, Terry. Time for Terry Hall and Breck's Shoulda Duck. A score will come through. Competitor number 269 moves into the yard. Ben McNaughton and Omo stand by 270. Scott Shea and Hannaford stud Renegade.
$268. Competitor number 268, Terry Hall with Breck's Shoulda Duck, scoring a 20.67 for the cutout, 53.33 for horsework, another 3 course points there, Terry. That'll be a total of 77 points. Put it with us 86 out of round 1. That'll be a 163 2-round score. You are watching now Mr. Ben McNaughton with his nomination in Omo. Number 270, Scott Shea with Hannaford stud Renegade. 271 of Peter Bolton and Gifted Spin.
Another lovely mare here in Ben McNaughton's Omo. AMAC Omo is a 7-year-old mare by Bonlac Gigolo out of that great grey mare we saw the McNaughton family campaign in Quicksilver. Omo herself has won 3 novice drafts and is a valued part of Ben and Laura's team. They've made the trip down from Walker. That's not quite how we wanted it to go though, Naughty. Unfortunately, we can only add a cutout to your great score yesterday for Ben McNaughton and Omo.
Last competitor, 269, Ben McNaughton and Omo, scoring a further 21 points. Put it with an 88 out of round 1. That'll be a 109 2-round score. Competitor number 270, Scott Shea, Hannaford stud Renegade. Number 271 will be Peter Bolton and Gifted Spin. 272, Laura Folkard with Erin Some Cat.
Yeah, and Scotty is one of the valued members of the cattle team here at Willinga Park. We thank him and the rest of the crew for their efforts in ensuring that this wonderful line of cattle are here and available for us to chase. I bet you he's enjoying the one he's chasing out there at the moment. This is Scott Shea, competitor number 270, riding his entry in Hannaford stud Renegade. Renegade is a novice camp draft gelding, ridden by the entire family. It wasn't quite how we wanted it to go either, Scotty. We thank you for your efforts though. Scott Shea, part of the wonderful cattle team here at Willinga Park. Cutout score for you coming, Scott.
Competitor number 270, Scott Shea, Hannaford stud Renegade, scoring a further 21 points. Put it with a 21 out of round 1, Scott, and that'll be a grand total 2-round score of 42 points. You're watching inside now. Competitor number 271, Peter Bolton and Gifted Spin. 272, Laura Folkard beat at the gate with Erin Sumcat. Kenny Beach is your number 273 with Overtime.
Peter Bolton comes to us from Hayfield in Victoria. On this occasion, he rides his own entry. He belongs to himself and his wife Michelle in Gifted Spin, a 6-year-old gelding by Seligman Spin. He was indeed the 2023 GCA Novice Horse of the Year. Outside's a call for Peter Bolton and Gifted Spin. Peter himself is a 2019 Chinchilla Grandfather Clock winner. He's won the GCA Open Rider and Champion Rider titles. A highly decorated family is the Bolton family. Come to us from Hayfield in Victoria, and Pete is now looking for a gate here on Gifted Spin to add to yesterday's good day. Beautifully done. A score will come through for you, Pete.
Last competitor, 271, Peter Bolton with Gifted Spin, scoring a 21.33 for cutout, 62.67 worth of horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 88-point round. I tell you what, you put it with an 88.67 from round number 1. That'll be a nice healthy score of 176.67. You're watching outside now, number 272, Laura Folkard with Erin Sumcat. Kenny Beach is your number 273 on the camp, please, with Overtime, and 274, Nadia Grover with A Must Be Regan. And we have just been informed, if you are a little bit perished, you can come up to the top of the stand behind the camp. The bar is open at the top, so you not only get a magnificent view back down over the camp and watch there, but the bar is open over the top there, so you can come up, relax, and have a nice cool drink.
There'd be nothing wrong with it, Beardy. 273 is in camp now. Kenny Beaches rides her entry in Overtime. Gelding that needs no introduction. He is by General Maximus and out of Overcast. It says here he's had many camp draft wins. That's because I don't know if we can count as high as the drafts that he would have won. A great gelding that we've seen have so much success. This is Kenny Beaches and her entry in Overtime, competitor number 273. Nada Grover's standing by on Must Be Regan, likewise 275, Troy Palmer, and Blue Tunes.
Previous competitor 272, Laura Folkard with Erin Sumcat scoring a 21-point cutout. Unfortunately, no round 1 score, so 21 is the number. As mentioned, you're watching outside there. Doing a lovely job. Kenny Beaches with Overtime is 273, 274, Nadia Grover with Must Be Regan on the camp. 275, Troy Palmer with Blue Tunes waiting at the gate. The last competitor, 273, Kenny Beaches with Overtime, scoring a 22 cutout, 61.33 for the horsework, another 4 course points. Round score, 87.33. Put it with a 15 out of round number 1. That'll be 102.33. 2-round score. You are now watching competitor number 274, Nadia Grover with Must Be Regan.
Regan is a stock horse mare by McNamara Refund. She is a novice camp drafter and has been bred and is owned by Nada herself. Nada's made the trip down from Biggenden in Queensland, and we wish them well as they build. This is Nada Grover, competitor number 274 on Must Be Regan. Troy Palmer moves into the yard and will receive a fresh pen of cattle on Blue Tune. Stand by 276, Sam Hewkins on Oakman's Boot. 277 will be Jamie Gray's Pip. 278, David Thorne, One Stylish Jewel. 279, Evan Bailey on Alina. And 280 will be Jonathan Sheehan on Bingley Memphis. And that's how you do it, folks. Nada Grover and Must Be Regan. We will have a score coming through for you. While we get some cattle out and some cattle in and some scores come through, we will just once again remind you that that cutout qualifier is tonight. There's 40-odd horses. If you haven't dropped your sheet up, as I said, there's every risk we might make something up. So we look forward to receiving a bit more of that paperwork. Would be great, folks. I'm hoping that we get to see this great mare again. That'll be Blue Tunes in the camp now. This is Troy Palmer, competitor number 275.
Previous competitor, 274, Nada Grover with Must Be Regan, scoring a 22 for cutout, 62.33 for the horsework, another 4 course points. That will be an 88.33 point round. Put that with the 88 from round number 1, that is a 176.33. I tell you what, Heidi, these scores just keep adding up, and here's another one, 275, Troy Palmer's Blue Tunes. Looks to me as very much in form. 276, Sam Hunkins with Oakman's Boot. And number 277, Jamie Gray with Pip.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about in-form horses. This particular mare won the Open at Cowra and the Restricted Open at Cowra only 3 or 4 days ago when they came through there on the way to Willinga Park. She is a 9-year-old mare by I'm a Smooth Blue Cat and out of EB's Eucalypt, an influence mare in the cutting world. She was the 2021 ABCRA Rookie Horse of the Year. Is owned by Troy and Fee Palmer. Troy's a valued member of the Willinga Park team and has been heavily involved in getting this wonderful event happening. He's got a lot of horses here with him this week, and he's got a lot of good help as well. His lovely daughter in Tyler, and great help across the weekend, with Hannah and Fee giving him a hand. Takes a hell of a team to make these teams of horses come together, and we certainly appreciate the help back at the truck. This is Troy Palmer riding his entry, competitor number 275, Blue Tunes.
Last competitor, 275, Troy Palmer's Blue Tunes, scoring a 23-point cutout. 55 for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be an 81-point round, but you put it with an 89.34. Out of round number 1, that'll be a 170.33. We hope you're well, Troy. 276, Sam Hunkins with Oakman's Boot.
And Oakman's Boot is a 6-year-old gelding by Hazelwood Conman out of an Acres bred mare. He's a maiden horse and has finalled multiple times and is looking to put one around here in this second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. This is 276, Sam Hunkins riding Oakman's Boot. 277 moves into the camp, Jamie Gray's Pip. Stand by at 278, David Thorne, One Stylish Jewel.
Better number 276, Sam Huggins with Oakman's Boot, scoring a 20-point cutout. 61.33 for the horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 85.33 round. Put it with an 18 out of round number 1, and that'll be 103.33. You're watching now competitor number 277, Jamie Gray riding Pip. 278, David Thorne, you be ready with One Stylish Jewel. And 279, Evan Bailey.
Grantham Queensland competitor we watch. This is Jamie Gray riding Pip. And another 4-pointer on the board. A score will come through for Jamie and Pip. Competitor number 277. We move our attention to competitor number 278, David Thorne riding David and Candy Thorne and the OJ Syndicate's entry in One Stylish Jewel. 279 standby, Evan Bailey on Alina. 280, Jonathan Sheehan, Bingley Memphis. 281, Fiona Gordon Cass. 282, Jess Scott Sammy. 283 will be Pete Comiskey, Yavin Smooth Sailing. And 284, Louis Comiskey, Good Time Chick.
Last competitor number 277, Jamie Gray, with Pip scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 59.67 for the horsework, another 4 course points. It'll be an 85.34 round, and add that with an 83 out of round number 1. That'll be a 168.33. 168.33 for Jamie Gray and Pip. You're watching number 278, David Thorne, with One Stylish Jewel. Number 279 on the camp, please, Evan Bailey with De La Vega Alina. Number 280 will be Jonathan Sheehan with Bingley Memphis, and number 281, Fiona Gordon and Cass. Last competitor, 278, David Thorne with One Stylish Jewel, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework, another 4 course points there, David. 87.67 round, put it with an 88.33 in round number 1. That'll give you a 176 two-round score. 176 for David Thorne with One Stylish Jewel. 279 now, Evan Bailey with De La Vega Alina. Waiting the gate, 280, Jonathan Sheehan with Bingley Memphis, and number 281, Fiona Gordon with Cass. Don't be far away. Unfortunately, competitor number 279, Evan Bailey with De La Vega Alina, goes out with a no score. Got it at 17.33 and now number 1. So there are your numbers, 17.33. When the camp is clear, we will have competitor number 280, Jonathan Sheehan with Bingley Memphis. 281, Fiona Gordon, you be ready with Cass. And Jess Scott, your 282 with Sammy. Pete Comiskey, your number 283 with Yavin Smooth Sailing, and Louise Comiskey at 284 with Good Time Chick.
Selecting his beast now. This is competitor number 280, Jonathan Sheehan, riding Bingley Memphis for the Elkins and Sheehan partnership. Jonathan comes from Young. Bingley Memphis is a 6-year-old stock horse gelding. He's competed by the whole family and a valued part of the team. This is the second round of the Willinga Park Gold Buckle. So proceedings for those following along, either here on site or those watching on the webcast. We will have the first 2 rounds are 2 full rounds. The aggregate scores, there will be a number that's selected from that where you will qualify for the semi-final tomorrow. From going into the semi-final, you will indeed have a clean slate. So the 2 scores from here to qualify will then be cleared, and we'll be going ahead with a clean slate into the semi. To find our finalists, we'll then take those scores with us. So it's a really great format down here over 4 rounds. We really do, with 3 judges and 4 rounds, you certainly do find a winner at the end, that's for sure. So come Saturday afternoon, it'll be finals time with the best of the best. This is the Willinga Park Gold Buckle, second round, and we are watching competitor number 280, Jonathan Sheehan, riding Bingley Memphis.
The last competitor number 280, Jonathan Shan with Bingley Memphis, scoring a 14 points, 14 for the cutout. Put it with a 19.33 out of round number 1. That'll be a 33.33 two-round score. You're watching competitor number 281, Fiona Gordon with Cass, 282, Jess Scott and Sammy, and 283, Pete Comiskey with Yavin Smooth Sailing. The last competitor, 281, Fiona Gordon and Cass, scoring a 22-point cut-out. Put it with a 79.66 out of round number 1. That'll be a two-round score of 101.67 points. In on camp now, you're watching 282, Jess Scott riding Sammy, and number 283 waiting at the gate will be Pete Comiskey with Yavin Smooth Sailing. Louise Comiskey, you're 284 with Good Time Chick. But at number 282, Jess Scott with Sammy scoring a 20.33 for cut-out. Put it with a 19 out of round number 1. That'll be a 39.33. You are watching now Mr. Pete Comiskey at competitor number 283. Yavin Smooth Sailing is the horse. 284 will be Louise Comiskey with Good Time Chick.
Yeah, Pete Comiskey we watched. Made the trip down from Nebo as always. He is riding Yavin Smooth Sailing in the entry from Jordan McDowell. Smooth Sailing is by Smooth the Cat out of One More Romance. Great Hazelwood Conman mare we saw campaigned, and another 4-pointer on the board for the master, Pete Comiskey. Score will come through for you. We move to competitor number 284, Louise Comiskey. Louise on this occasion is riding Good Time Chick, her own entry. Good Time Chick is a 13-year-old mare by Destiny's Mr. Chick out of Scat Cat, mare of Mark and Joanne Smiths. Good Time Chick has won numerous cutouts and placings in many drafts. She is indeed a novice mare. And Louis herself won the ladies' draft up there at Condamine last year, which was a great win to see. She's also won multiple opens across the years that we've watched her campaign. We wish them luck on this occasion. This is Louise Comiskey riding Good Time Chick, competitor number 284.
The last competitor, 283, Pete Comiskey with Yavin Smooth Sailing, scoring a 22 for cutout, 62.33 for horsework. Another 4 course points, that'll be an 88.33 round. You put it with a 73.67 out of round number 1, that'll be a 162.2 round score. 162 points for Pete Comiskey and Yavin Smooth Sailing. Louise Comiskey is who you're watching now at 284 with Good Time Chick. 285 will be Dean Norton with Royale Elation.
Louise Comiskey we watch, competitor number 284 on her mare Good Time Chick. Steve and Louise make their home up there near Capella. Fantastic camp draft competitors, fantastic family people. They've got their daughter Darcy with them this week, made the trip down to Willinga Park for the first time for Darcy. And get to watch Mum put another one around. Score will come through for you, Louise Comiskey and Good Time Chick, competitor number 284.
Last competitor, 284, Louise Comiskey and Good Time Chick, scoring a 16.67 for the cutout, 54.67 for horsework. Another 3 course points. That'll be a 74.34 round. Put it with an 86.34 from round number 1. That'll be a 160.67. 160.67 for Louise Comiskey and Good Time Chick. You are now watching competitor number 285, Dean Norton with Royal Elation. Number 286 will be Laura McNaughton with Cuban Cigars.
And Dean Norton makes his home at Lake Cargillago, rides his entry Royal Elation. She is sired by Royal Hardacre and out of a mare called Yarrawa Marina. This particular entry is owned by Dean and Kellyanne Norton. We wish them well in this second round, looking to build a score to add to yesterday's total. 286 moves into the camp. Laura McNaughton, stand by 287, Simon Birch at the Brays pitch. Righto, Walker Lady, we watch competitor number 286, Laura McNaughton, riding Cuban Cigars. Lovely Hazelwood Conman mare, out of an Acres mare, who belongs to Laura's father-in-law, Bruce McNaughton. Cuban is a novice mare. She's 9 years old, campaigned here by Laura McNaughton. An exceptional horsewoman, exceptional camp drafter on the weekends and through the week. She's a school principal at a beautiful little school up there near Walker at Yarrawitch. This is Laura McNaughton, competitor number 286, riding at Bruce McNaughton's Cuban Cigars.
The last competitor, 285, Dean Norton with Royal Elation, scoring a 20 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. Grand total, 84.67. Put it with an 81.33 out of round number 1. That'll be a 166 for Dean Norton with Royal Elation. Competitor number 286, Laura McNaughton with Cuban Cigars, scoring a 21 for cutout. 63.33 were the horsework there. Another 4 course points. That's an 88.33 round. Tell you what, you put that with an 87 out of round number 1, Laura. That'll be 175.33. It's 175.33 points for Laura McNaughton. In on camp now, 287, Simone Birch with the Brays pitch.
And Pitch is an 11-year-old purchased out of the Landmark Nutrient sale up there as a 3-year-old. She's by Jats by Adios Acres and out of a Doc's Freckle Oak mare. Pitch is a novice mare, has won both maiden novices and ladies drafts. This is Simone Birch's own entry, the Brays pitch. Sarah Cookson moves into the camp, riding Paradise. 288, 289 will be William Chugg's Miss Brooks Boone, and 290 Bo Butel on Everlee Coins. Looking for a gate now though. Time, that is 287, Simone Birch and the Brays pitch.
Last competitor, 287, Simone Birch, the Brays pitch, scoring a 20.67 for cutout. 52 points for horsework, another 3 course points. That'll be a 75.67 round score. Put that with an 86 out of round number 1. That'll be a 161.67. 161.67 2-round score for Simone Birch with the Brays pitch.
Rightio, looking over her cattle. This is competitor number 288, Sarah Cookson, riding PJ Cookson's entry in Paradise. Just got a couple of cattle on the arena that we will aim to clear before we let Sarah at them. Paradise is a mare by Conman. She's a 17-year-old mare by Conman out of a great mare the Cookson family enjoyed called Cruise. Paradise herself has won numerous opens, ladies, and was ACA Cutout Horse of the Year. The jockey on her back is Sarah Cookson, originally from Doombandy, now makes a home here at Willinga Park, is part of Eric Klaus's team, part of the vet hospital here. Sarah's won a Paradise Lagoons ladies draft and more drafts than we can count. She's a hell of a competitor and is passionate about her work here at Willinga. Unfortunately today though, Cooko, we can only offer you and Parasite a cutout score to add to your total. We'll see you again later, there's nothing surer.
Previous competitor, 288, Sarah Cookson with Paradise, scoring a 22 for cutout. Unfortunately, no further points there, but you put it with the 88 out of round number 1, Sarah. That'll give you a 110. 110 points, Sarah Cookson's Paradise. In on camp now, we have William Chug. Miss Brooks Boone is 289, 290 a Bobo Tell with Everly Coins. 291 will be Lisa Pocklington with Mikey.
Yeah, William Chug makes his home up there at Juanda Plains, the Willinga property, managed by Andrew Turvey with the help of great ringers like Will. Will on this occasion is riding Miss Brooks Boone, owned by Lauren Finger. Miss Brooks Boone is by Brooksy Pep and out of GI Stylish. On course for William Chug and Miss Brooks Boone. 290 moves into the yard, Bo Butel riding Everly Coins. 291, Lisa Pocklington, Mikey. 292, Mark Buttsworth, Peps Double Ray. 293, we'll see Fantasy and Hugh Miles. 294, Wyatt Young's back on making hats off to Shakira. And 295 will be Reese Anglin's Chico.
The last competitor, 289, William Chug with Miss Brooks Boone, scoring a 14.67 for the cutout. Put it with a 19.33 out of round number 1. That'll be a 34 points for 2-round score. Number 290 now, Bobo Tell, Everly Coins.
Bo rides Everly Coins, owned by his grandfather, Don Moffat. I'm sure Don would be watching on. They make their home up there at Calbar. Everly Coins is a 60-year-old mare by Seligman Spin out of an Acres Destiny mare. Bo himself is a previous winner of the Charlie Marr Memorial Young Guns up there at Nutrien. He's only a young competitor at 20 years old with a huge future, I'm sure you'll agree. This is Bo Butel, competitor number 290, riding Everly Coins. Lisa Pocklington moves into the yard on Mikey 291, standby 292, Mark Buttsworth, Peps Double Ray.
The last competitor, competitor number 290, Bo Butel, scoring a 20.67 for the cutout, 60.33 for the horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 85-point round. Put it with the 85.67 out of round number 1. That'll be a 170.67. 170.67, 2-round score for Bo Butel. In on camp now, 291, we have Lisa Pocklington with Mikey. Number 292, Mark Buttsworth with Peps Double Ray. Once again, a very, very big thank you to Ruhide for their support in providing the trophy saddle here, ladies and gentlemen. The prestigious Gold Buckle Champion, custom-made saddle by Ruhide. Here we'll receive the winner, which will receive the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft Champion will receive that. So a big thank you to Ruhide.
On course proper for 291, Lisa Pocklington riding her entry, Mikey. Mikey's a 7-year-old gelding by No More One More and out of Million Spin Chick. Lisa makes her home at Meerboon North, and this is her own entry. We wish them well. This is Lisa Pocklington riding Mikey. Into the yard, 292, Mark Buttsworth, Peps Double Ray, standby 293, Hugh Miles Fantasy, likewise 294, Wyatt Young, making hats off to Shakira.
Last competitor, number 291, Lisa Pocklington with Mikey, scoring 21 for cutout, 61.67 for the horsework, another 4-course points. Be an 86.67 round. Put it with a 22 at round number 1. That'll be a 108.67. You are watching now competitor number 292, Mark Buttsworth with Peps Double Ray. 293, Hugh Miles, you be ready with Fantasy.
Yeah, and the horse we watched, ladies and gentlemen, he was the winner of that cutout shootout last year. This is Peps Double Ray, Mark's own entry. He contested the cutout shootout last year and indeed took home the marbles and a big check. This is Peps Double Ray and Mark Buttsworth, competitor number 292. Made the trip down from Kingaroy, as they always do. Mark and another entry are currently holding the marbles. Indeed, they are leading the event at this stage. And he's just done it again, ladies and gentlemen. That's Mark Buttsworth riding Peps Double Ray. Hugh Miles moves into the camp on Fantasy. Standby 294, Wyatt Young, making hats off to Shakira.
The last competitor, 292, Mark Buttsworth with Peps Double Ray. Scoring a 22 for the cutout, 62.33 for the horsework, another 4-course points. That'll be an 88.33 point round, 88.33, put it with a 76.33, it'll be a 164.67. 164.67 for Mark Buttsworth, Peps Double Ray. You are now watching 293, Hugh Miles with Fantasy.
Yeah, and Fantasy is a lovely novice mare by Acres Destiny. She is indeed owned by Joel and Belinda Fleming, who made the trip down to watch their beautiful mare go round with Hugh Miles in the saddle. This is Fantasy and Hugh Miles, competitor number 293. Wyatt Young moves into the camp, 294 on making hats off to Shakira. 295, Reese Anglin, standby on Chico. 296, Stevie Comiskey, pimped up Cat. And 297, Phil Anglin and Hannah. Looking for a gate now, though. This is Hugh Miles riding Joel and Belinda Fleming's entry in Fantasy. And I'm 100% sure you can breathe now, B. A lovely round there for Huey and Fantasy. A score will come through to build on yesterday's 88.33. Working in camp now, this is competitor number 294, Wyatt Young, riding Making Hats Off to Shakira on behalf of Barry Henson. Making Hats Off to Shakira is a novice mare out of the Great Shakira Sprint, a mare that we have seen perform plenty. This particular filly was bought out of the Willinga Park sale. A really successful event that it was. We've seen a few of the mares. It was a particular female sale, a select female sale, and we've seen 3 or 4 of them come back and compete here at the event, including this lovely mare, Making Hats Off to Shakira, a hard hat Henry mare out of Shakira's Spin. Another one through the gate for Wyatt Young, and Barry Henson's entry, Making Hats Off to Shakira.
Previous competitor, number 293, Mr. Hugh Miles with Joel and Belinda Fleming's Fantasy, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 62 for horsework, another 4-course points. That's an 87.67 round. Put it with an 88.33, and that'll be a 176, Joel. We'll just check whether that's acceptable, Joel. Anyway, competitor number 294, Wyatt Young, making hats off to Shakira, scoring a 21 for cutout, 61.67 for the horsework, another 4 course points. It'll be an 86.67 round. Put it with an 87.33. That'll be a 174 2 round score. You are now watching 295, Reese England with Chico.
And Chico is a 10-year-old mare by Palmer's Super Idea out of Diamond Dodwell Example. She was bought out of the Rosewood sale as a 4-year-old and won the Daily Waters Maiden in 2020. Recently brought back into work after having a foal. The Cowboy in the saddle needs no introduction. A great rodeo rider himself, as well as a multiple camp draft winner. They won the big maiden up there at the Cobar Performance Horses in 2021. And he's got another one on the board. Good on you, Reese. Score will come through for Reese England and Chico. 296, Stevie Comiskey, Pimped Up Cat is in the camp. Stand by 297, Phil England, Hannah.
The last competitor, 295, Reese England with a Chico, scoring a 21.67 for cutout, 60.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 86.34 round. Put it with an 81 out of round number 1. That'll be a 167. 167.33 for Reese England's Chico. You are now watching 296, Steve Comiskey with Pimped Up Cat.
And Pimped Up Cat is owned by Lloyd Nelson. He's a 10-year-old stallion by a highbrow cat and out of Pepto Girl. Pimped Up Cat is a novice horse and being campaigned here by Steve Comiskey, another of the Comiskey family. We saw Stevie's wife Louise put one around earlier, and we'll catch up with his daughter in the juvenile, no doubt, on Saturday. Great family sport is our camp drafting. This is Steve Comiskey, competitor number 296, riding Lloyd Nelson's entry, Pimped Up Cat, looking for a gate. And it's as easy as that. Score will come through from our judges for Stevie Comiskey and Pimped Up Cat. Phil Anglin moves into the camp, riding Hannah. Following Phil, 298, Ben Hall, Marnie's North. 299, Kimberly Salmon, Smith Family Eve. And David Murphy on Shady Show Day will see us out at 300.
The last competitor, competitor number 296, Steve Comiskey with Pimped Up Cat, scoring a 21 for cutout, 62 for horsework, a 4 course points, 87-point round. Put that with an 87.33 out of round number 1. That will be a 174.33 2-round score for Steve Comiskey with Pimped Up Cat. You are now watching 297, Phil Angland with Hannah. In on camp, please, 298, Ben Hall with Marnie's North, and 299, Kimberly Salmon with a Smith Family Eve.
Phil Angland riding Hannah. Hannah's a 22-year-old entry, sired by Hannaford stud Robin Hood. Made the semi-final at the first ever Willinga Park. Won the cutout at Trim at Draft and winner of the bareback at Holbrook. Phil Angland's excited to be here at his first Willinga Park. We can get you a cutout score is all we can give you today, Phil.
Competitor 297, Phil Angland with Hannah, scoring a 14.67 for the cutout. You put it with a 19.33 out of round number 1 cutout, and that'll be a 34 points for 2 rounds. In on camp now, number 298, Mr. Ben Hall with Marnie's North, waiting at the gate. It'll be 299, Kimberly Salmon with Smith Family Eve, number 300, David Murphy with a Shady Show Day.
Yeah, here he is, the Muddabara Cowboy, Ben Hall, rides Marnie's North on this occasion. Marnie's North is a 14-year-old open mare by Marnie's Destiny. Great Acres horse we saw win all across the country. And Ben Hall himself in the saddle on this occasion. Multiple camp draft winner, your current ACA Open Rider of the Year. He did the amazing double last year and won the Condamine Bell and the Chinchilla Grandfather Clock on the same entry, a mare we've seen already this week in El Torrio. Unfortunately, Warwick was cancelled, so we didn't get to see him try for the Triple Crown, but I reckon he's the man to give it a go. That was Ben Hall. On this occasion, he rode Marnie's North. We will have a score for you shortly, Ben. Kimberly Salmon moves in the yard on Smith Family Eve. Stand by 300, David Murphy, Shady Show Day, and then we'll have a drag and a tidy up, and we'll be back with 301.
Last competitor, competitor number 298, Ben Hall's Marnie's North. Scoring at 16 for the cutout, 62.33 worth of horsework. Another 4 course points, that'll be an 82.33 round. Put it with an 88 out of round number 1, that'll be a 170.33. So 170.33 points for Ben Hall and Marnie's North. You are watching now, cut out, Kimberley Salmon with Smith Family Eve. Then we'll have competitor number 300, David Murphy with Sheedy Show Day.
Yeah, Kimberley Salmon on course riding Smith Family Eve, owned by Graham Kemp. This particular mare is by Hazelwood Conman, and out of that Playboy Roy mare in Yugobar Super Chick.
Last competitor, competitor number 299, Kimberley Salmon with Smith Family Eve, scoring a 21-point cutout. Put it with an 85 out of round number 1. That'll be a 106 points for Kimberley Salmon and Smith Family Eve. You're watching competitor number 300, David Murphy with Sheedy Show Day. Then we will give the surface a small bit of attention once again. Then we'll be back with a 301 with Peter Cookson and Ripple. Number 302, Matthew Whip with Ruby.
David Murphy we watch from Talbot in Victoria, riding Mark and Kate Scone's entry. It's Shady Show Day and Novice Mare. I'll have a score for you shortly, David. Thanks everyone, thanks competitors. We got through those in great time. Some great camp drafting, I think the spectators will agree. And those dialed in on the live stream at home, we thank you for being with us. Got another 130 odd competitors to go this afternoon before we kick into that great first round of the cutout qualifier. Gav and I will be back to go through that with you. In the meantime, we'll drag the arena thanks to Macca and his crew, and we'll go ahead with 301. Kate Cookson is going to take the ride on Ripple.
Last competitor, competitor number 300, David Murphy with Sheedy Show Day, scoring a 20.67 for cutout, 62.67 for horsework, another 4 course points. That'll be an 87.34 round, 87.34, and put it with an 86 out of round number 1. That'll be a 173.33. So 173.33 for David Murphy and Sheedy Show Day. Over to you, Dan.
I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a been found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country.
Through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the red light. I could run through the fire, I could conquer the night. If I can make it, if I try to draw the
first two positions so far today on the leaderboard for the second round. Butsy, you're on fire.
Just doing the best I can, Dan.
He's a fellow Ringers Western and Foresight rider, so it's great to see the two major sponsors getting represented so well in Mark Buttsworth. He's just had another cracking run on this Ripper gelding and put him right up there in contention with some round money as well. Can you tell us a little bit about this horse?
Yeah, Dan, he was a cutting horse originally. He was reserve champion in the NCHA Futurity, and then he's not long broke open in drafting, and yeah, he won the greatest thing there at the ARBC there last year, and yeah, he's just been pretty much a handful. Got a bit of life about him, but he's been good to me. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do know a little bit about this horse personally, and I know he can be a little difficult. I think you're the best man to definitely get around him and operate him, and you certainly do have a hell of a partnership when you see you both in the cutout yard, and then you just put one around beautifully outside. I guess it's a double-edged sword at the Willinga Park Camp Draft here, being that it's a clean slate semi-final, but it could work in your favour. You quite possibly could have the highest aggregate going in, which is going to get wiped back to zero. But then for the likes of this gelding, who had quite a low score yesterday and a high score today, he's going to probably go in the semi-final as well, we would assume, and he's going to be sitting in the exact same position as One Stylish. So it sort of works out in the wash. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see whether we've made enough then to make it, Dan, but you know, we all know that's the way the events run before we come here, so you know, it's I don't worry about it too much. I just go and do the best I can and see how it ends up at the end. Yeah.
And the other thing that a lot of people are intrigued by is we know how well you cut out. You've got a huge cutting program. You're about to finish here this weekend and head straight to the NCHA Cutting Futurity. How do you switch over from one discipline to the other so quickly when we know camp drafting to be really fast, you know, high-end adrenaline, quick, and then cutting can be, you know, a lot slower and more controlled? How do you mentally get yourself in the right frame of mind to go from one discipline to the other?
Yeah, the main thing, Dan, is just switch your mind off to the cutting right this week. You know, like you know, I'm pretty lucky. My you know, working boys, Tom and Paxton, they're keeping them going for me while I'm here, so I'm confident that's all going okay. And yeah, just once we leave here, I'll just shut off from game drafting and go do that. But we swap and change all day when we're training, so we get pretty used to making, you know, the alterations, because you know, when you do sort of 4 or 5 events, you've got to be able to do that. Yeah.
And I know you get wound up quite easily. Do you ever catch yourself out when you're cutting that you actually slip into camp draft mode automatically, or you're always that balanced that you find yourself you stay even?
Yeah, I think you know, obviously in cutting you've got your corner help, and the boys know me pretty well, so most of their words are slow down, you know, so yeah, you help you mentally a bit too, that's for sure. But I guess just doing it for a long time, Dan, you kind of you know, probably do control your emotions better as you get older, but then you know, sometimes you've got to be aggressive in the cutting to you know, to pull off a big run if you need to get round a big score. So sometimes it works in your favour, but it can go either way.
Well, thank you, Butsy, for your time, and good luck with the rest of the show. We already know you're going to be back in the semi-final with a couple and quite possibly a couple more. So good luck, and hopefully we'll see you there on Saturday afternoon in the final.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, guys. Well, there's Mark Buttsworth. I reckon really good insight into the mindset that it takes to be such a, I guess, high-end and extremely competitive rider. You can probably hear the tractors in the background. We're going to have a quick look down there on ground surface as we do a little bit of roving. I'll stay pretty close to the fence here, but the surface at Willinga is just unbelievable. It's got this really great sand and sort of grit mixture that just allows those horses to really feel safe when they've got to make those aggressive turns on the pegs, that they can grab the ground, get the grip, but also still have that softness to make sure that it's sort of softening some of that concussion that they might get galloping out on course. And Willinga Park do such a great job preparing it. You can see they quite often bring out the water truck if needed. They have a specially custom designed both harrow and roller, but then they back it up by bringing in the really it's a heavy earthworks piece of equipment in the heavy roller here, the drum roller, going around, and particularly focuses around the circles around the pegs, just to firm up that ground to allow those horses, again, like I said, to bite into the ground as required, not feel like they're labouring in deep sand, but at the same time having enough traction to be able to get around. So we have these breaks, as you've been aware, if you've been watching the live stream over the last 2 days, every 100 runs. So they make it as even as possible for the competitors. Every 25 riders, they actually clean the camp out. And I only became aware of this yesterday, but those 25 head of cattle, the 25 riders, those head of cattle actually get bushed completely. When a lot of camp drafts, those cattle get recycled and they come back in as your fresh cattle later on down the day. These cattle actually get taken away. So every 25 runs, they refresh the camp, which again, they're trying to make this event as fair as possible for all the competitors. So it really can't get a bad draw when it comes to the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft Championship. Doesn't matter where you draw, there's going to be good cattle, they're going to be happy cattle. They come out off feed, they come straight into the yard, and that they don't hang around. So again, they're working the ground. It means there is a little bit of a delay when it comes to the camp draft, but it is well worth it when they're looking at the preparation, just getting it absolutely spot on. We're getting a light shower of rain here. Doesn't look like there'll be too much in it, as we do have plenty of sun. I'm not sure we are coming live. The cameraman and I have to do a little bit of work here covering up. Are we still good? Are we still good, Tim? We can keep going. I'll just get some confirmation. You're still good to keep going? All right. What about if I grab another rider here? Let's see who we can get. I'm going to do a little bit of wandering around and see if we can grab a rider. Bill, where's he going? See, they see me with this microphone and they do an absolute runner. You know, we swear that these guys are my friends, but they do not want to hang around me once I've got this microphone. So I'll see if I can sneak in here and grab someone in a moment. Here we go. Well, we might sneak over and do a little one here with Lockie. Can we have a quick word with you? Actually, we're coming in live during our crossover here with the arena preparation. Mate, how's the show been going for you?
Yeah, no, it's been good. Good like always.
Yeah, we can't complain, can we? We've got beautiful cattle, beautiful grounds, and it's an unbelievable setting. Have you secured yourself a couple of double scores today?
Yeah, two so far and two more to build on.
Right, well, that's got to be pretty exciting to know that you've already got two back into the semi-final. We've been asking a lot of the riders if the different format here at the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft Championship, being that it goes into a clean slate semi-final, does it change your strategy at all?
No, you still got to put cows around. We probably play it a touch safer, building on a score, but that'd be it. Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit about the two horses that you've got back into the semi-final?
Heaven, she's a highbrow CD mare that we're out of the cutting pen. We've not long started drafting. That's pretty cool, and a younger kind of con man mare of mine and Beck's that I'm looking forward to her. She's got a few gears left in her. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Last one I'll ask you is, what would it mean to Lockie Sims to win the Ringers Western Gold Buckle Camp Draft Championship for 2023?
Oh, everything, mate. This is it's the one in my mind. Like I'll be thinking about it again on Monday for next year. It's everything.
Now, do you get nervous when you go into the camp at these bigger camp drafts?
I was nervous that last run there on the Conman mare to try and back up her like I wanted her through. Normally not, but her I did for some reason.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks, Lockie, and good luck. Thanks, mate. All right. We nailed him. We got one. Let's see. We're still rolling. My cameraman's stuck over there, so I'm riding around here solo, as you could say. I'm going to see how we go. I'm going to sneak over here and see if I can grab Brooke Hazlitt. He's a good fella. He's always up for a bit of a chat, so I'm just roaming around talking to myself, and I've just grabbed one here. I'm going to start going in here and picking you guys out by your bridle reins. Come over here. I know that you're keen to have a chat. We're going directly live right now. Can you believe the technology that we have? All right, so I'm here with Brooke Hazlitt. Brooke, how's the show been treating you?
Well, it's a great place to come and draft, but we haven't had any luck so far. But got Ella to go in the juveniles, so it's all up to her. We've got one more run to go, but didn't score any in the first round. So,
Well, that's, it's a pity that you won't have anything going back into the clean slate semi-final, but at the same time, it's such a positive feeling when you still know there's $10,000 to win the round. I mean, that's more than most open camp drafts, so it at least allows you to know that you're really going for like it's going into a final.
yeah, absolutely. No, we're trying to win that round money, and like everybody else is that missed out. But it's a great concept and fantastic setup, and we're happy to be here.
Is this your first time? Have you been to the draft before?
No, watched it on the live stream the last couple of years, and thought we'd better get over here and have a run. So this is our first trip.
And what was your first impression when you drove through the gates of Willinga Park?
Well, you see it on the drone footage and the photographs and hear people talk about it, but to actually see what Terry's done is quite amazing. Yeah, the facility, it's just amazing.
You'd have to say for anyone, again, watching on live stream that's a competitor out there, and it can be in really any discipline because they cover all disciplines here, you'd have to put this facility and this event on the bucket list, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know of anything of its stature, really. We spent a little bit of time in the States and they've got some great facilities there, but this is really off by itself, I think.
So as we talked about, and going back, you're about to have your last run for the day here, and you're thinking about, potentially trying to take home some of the prize money in this second round. What's your preparation? What's your thoughts? Like talk us through how you get yourself ready for your run.
Well, just treat it like any other run, really. Not try to get too overexcited, but just see what the cattle are and just try to do what the cattle offer up. I think if you try to do too much, you usually buggy the run, or I do. So just try to do what the cattle will let you do.
All right, well, congratulations on being here, and hopefully Ella will get a little bit of luck in the juvenile, and we'll be talking to you a little bit later on. Thanks, Brooke.
No worries, thanks, Dan.
All right, I just heard there that they are getting pretty close to wrapping things up. All the competitors are coming back. The cattle will be coming into the camp. So we'll look at just finishing up here on the live stream directly. We'll just have one last look at the grounds here and just check in and see how we're going. It's looking a picture. Like I said, the rain didn't really hang around for very long. It's tidied up really well. There's just a little bit more for these boys to finish up, and then they'll be bringing in the cattle, and you can see pretty quickly all the competitors have just started to line back up as eager to see the new fresh pen of cattle come in, and they look to make their selections. If you are watching the live stream and maybe you're not a camp drafter, you're not too sure maybe about the rules, the riders have to select their cow for themselves. So it's not a designated cow. The judges don't tell them which cow to pick. There's 8 back to 6 here. So after every 2 runs on the odd number, they will actually fill the camp with 2 more cows. So it is a little bit of an advantage if you get what they call a fill. So that's when those 2 cows come in, because it gives you 2 new cows to select from. So if you come on an even number, well, you're going to get whatever that rider has left behind, and maybe it's not a very good cow, so you've got to dig a little bit deeper into the mob and make a selection, and it can be a little bit more difficult. But here, because like I mentioned before, they're changing those cattle so much, so quickly, it really does keep it pretty even. All right, we're going to go back over there to our announcers and get started for the next couple hundred runs. Thank you.